and
Up
set up,
set up,
which we
set
were
up.
Sound good?
Mhm.
Well, we are live.
Talking about other stuff. Par for the course.
Yeah, we are live.
And late.
As always.
That's all right.
What are you gonna do?
It's Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday at whatever time it is, maybe 12:15.
12-ish.
Something.
12-ish. That's the new show time. 12-ish.
And
I
we
like
are
that.
here with Mr. Cesar Rodriguez.
Thank you very much for having me. Get to be with the amazing Key team today, bringing all the energy.
And he is with Suncoast Roofing and Solar. And he has a lot of knowledge that he's going to fill us in on. And we'll see exactly what else he wants to talk about, because we'll probably ask him some really off the wall questions that has nothing to do with his business, but it does, because it has to do with him.
I like conversations that are more of business, life. I mean, I see you outside of business anyway, so there's plenty to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we're just going to put the floor over to you. Introduce yourself. Let us know, when and how you got into roofing, and
Take it away. So, Cesar Rodriguez, Suncoast Roofing and Solar. We're based out of Hudson. We have 5 locations. That echoed crazily.
Yep.
Wrong button. Wrong button, guys.
We have
It
5
was
locations.
dramatization.
Yeah, that's it. Just locations. 5 locations throughout the state. So we have an Orlando branch. We have a couple on the East Coast. I run one in Hudson, and I run another one down in Bonita Springs. So we pretty much covered the entire state of Florida. My background is actually energy efficiency, spray foam. I did almost 10 years of new construction, spray foam, all kinds of you name a certificate for building performance, and I have it. And basically just working with builders, creating the best systems that you can use the least amount of energy. So I worked with lead builders, and you can get lead credits for green homes. That's my background. And doing it for years, working for a company, and I just kind of got burned out and wanted a new challenge. I spoke with the owner of Suncoast. He knew that I was looking to make a change, and he asked me if I wanted to come on board, and I was ready to take a new challenge on, and I did that. And with anything that I do, I'm a complete dork. So I went down the rabbit hole of trainings and OSHA stuff and anything the suppliers offer, tile trainings, metal trainings, flat roofing, GAF classes for large flat roofs, TPO, all of that stuff. I spent the whole first year selling and taking classes and writing with my superintendents and learning as much as I could. Now, mind you, because my background's in building performance, I knew a lot about it already. I didn't know the practical application of actually getting out there and seeing what the guys did day in and day out. So I started from the ground up, learned everything that I could, then took over the reins for the branches, and it's been good. We're very successful. I just got branch of the year.
Hey.
My branch has outperformed every branch in our company, and that was really like my first full year front to back of running the entire show with nobody there, no parachute, no backup, and we crushed everybody, and it was really, really awesome. I'm proud of all my people. My team was amazing, and we worked through a hurricane.
Mhm.
We have a branch down south, so we worked through Hurricane Ian, and we helped a lot of people when there was people going out there taking advantage, giving these really high prices and high insurance prices. We went and offered like a retail option. Say you've got enough money in the bank and you're filing an insurance claim anyway, but your roof is highly damaged. I can give you a retail quote that's not
Then you'd
Then you'd
giant.
rather pay yourself.
So I give the
Right.
option. Where a lot of the roofing companies came out, they don't give you that option. They won't even give you a price. It's just for insurance proceeds. And we'll bill
Wow.
your insurance company. And sometimes a roof that should be 25,000, at the end of the day, what they bill the insurance company is 56, 60,000. So I taught my guys, listen, go out there, give them this option. If they don't have the money to do it, they have to go through insurance, then we have to follow the protocols and do it that way. But
Will insurance
Will
reimburse them?
insurance reimburse them?
yes, so they can file their
Okay.
own claim. I mean, it was a hurricane. The
Right.
difference is,
If I had the cash to be able to do that, that's the way I'd go all day long.
so there was a lot of people that
It
did.
takes time.
So they went after their insurance money, but instead of waiting 2 months or however long it takes to fight the process, they went ahead and gave us a small deposit. We went ahead and got materials and had their roof on before most people even had their claims adjusters out there. So if it was an option for them, we gave them that option, and it really had saved them about 40% of the roof cost by doing it that way.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know
And you know,
how important
more
it is
people,
to
how
get
important it
things
is to get
quickly
things
as
done
possible and to
quickly
be
as
the
possible and
first.
to be the first.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Because otherwise,
You fall
wait
behind.
forever.
Yeah, because if you have an area with a lot of devastation like that, there's a lot of materials that are going to be on back order, and then you're going to have a lot of laborers that aren't going to have time to get to your house and do whatever it is that you need to do next. So
They're
you get
just
there.
now catching up on tile roofing from Ian. They're just now catching up to like a normal lead time.
How long has that been?
Almost 2 years, right? Like
well,
2 years?
Well over a year.
Yeah.
Well over a
definitely
year and a
year and
half.
a half-ish, almost
I'm
2.
I almost want to look and see how long
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
been.
it's
Like,
like, I mean, to me, so
it's an extended period of
Yeah.
time. Like, it's
Yeah.
But I
crazy.
mean, there's roofs that were signed insurance only, that as soon as that contract was signed, materials were ordered for concrete tile roofs that are just being released today, tomorrow, last week.
Wow.
Wow.
So the people that really got in ahead of everybody, they got which for tile roofing, like it's normal because it's made per order to have to wait 3 months, 4
Right.
months to get that material.
Right.
That went to 6 months, then it went to 9 months, then it went to some people that were some of the last to get their stuff. They were given almost a year wait time.
Oh my gosh.
And can you imagine your home's devastated? You've got tarps all over your roof. Tarps aren't a permanent solution. And then somebody goes, don't worry, your roof will be here in a year. It just crushed people. And,
Like, what do you do? How do you?
that's across the board, though. That's not a roofing company thing. That was
Right.
the supply.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So the ones that got in early really did better. The ones that got in late that we dealt with, we would go and tear their whole roof off. If it was like actively leaking, it was really bad. Tear the whole roof off, dry everything in, and just get it tight and dry and wait. And that's the best you can do. Everybody wants to be made whole as fast as possible, but sometimes that's the best version of being made whole for the moment until you can get the beautiful tile on there.
Right.
We have some, there's some underlayments that will give you a 6-month warranty. There were some
Is
that
that like
couldn't
just
even meet
felt
Felt and stuff, or
But we
like,
use high temp peel and stick,
Okay.
okay.
and some of the better ones have an exposure rating, meaning no roofing tiles on it, just left that way for 6 months.
Okay.
So some of those, we beat the 6-month mark and got tile on there. Some of them we had to dry them in so fast that we knew we weren't going to get the tile, and we had to go back when the tile was released and redo the whole dry in. But it's worth it. They had at least some peace of mind instead of a blue tarp for that period when they were waiting,
Right.
because they felt normal then, because everybody else in the neighborhood didn't have shingles or tiles or anything.
Yeah,
They
and you
looked
go up to
like
your
everyone
house
else,
and-
except for some people had blue tarps. They had a nice brand new dry-in job, so it looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
More
Probably a little
appealing.
bit more secure too.
No, way more secure. Those blue
Strapped down.
tarps are they're a Band-Aid,
Yeah.
and they don't last very long. Just like a regular Band-Aid, if you shower with it twice, it's on the shower floor.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent, because the next time a storm comes by or there's high winds, they detach, they start flapping in the wind. It's not a permanent solution. It's an emergency tarp to hold you over until we can get something better on it.
Sure.
I get that.
Couldn't imagine just pulling up to my house every day, even if it was even livable, and being like, oh, my blue tarp is slapping. We had a storm.
We got those phone calls. I mean, full disclosure, it's, we're not perfect. We went out and we tarped a lot of roofs. I had the opportunity, and I'll shout somebody else out. Suncoast Roofing and Farrell Roofing went down to the hurricane area, and we tarped first responder roofs for free. So
Wow.
while all of
Then they can go out and,
they could focus on doing their job and not worry about their house.
Right.
So we got a list of sheriff's department, local police, EMS, all of that. And my superintendent, Nate, down in Fort Myers, led these crews. Kyle was down there with Farrell, and they just went house to house and tight tarped all these houses. And we ended up getting an award from Pasco County Sheriff's Office down the road. And I mean, it was really cool to be able to help the people that help us so much.
Yeah.
What
I
a
mean,
great idea.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
just the
awesome.
thought process of they have damage, they're putting themselves last.
Nobody thinks of it. You know,
Right.
nobody says, well, it's what, can you help me? Can you help me? But who's helping the people that are helping you?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was a beautiful opportunity, and I would partner with them anytime.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, and you don't realize when something like devastating like that happens, you need your EMS and you need your sheriffs out there patrolling because all the crazies and, criminals come out and, a lot of looting and,
There was no power,
mm-hmm.
and there was looting going on. They were working long shifts. We had tents set up down there. The sheriff's department was escorting us into the worst sections that were down there. They had gas set up for our guys in our trucks, which was for their vehicles too, but they offered it to us. They served hot meals. They took care of us as much as we took care of them. But I mean, it was really a blessing to be able to see that kind of devastation, but see a community come together in the middle of all of that and see competitors, roofing companies that usually wouldn't hang out together, getting together and doing what was best for the community instead of what's best for their pockets.
Right. I mean, and that's what's really important. And I think the silver lining of when something like this does happen and you do see it, maybe not as much as we should, but I got goosebumps when
you
you're
just
telling
went
the
through
story.
this,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool to see people, coming together just to help because you're like, oh my gosh, like what can we do to help? And I truly believe people just want to help, especially when you see something like that. Whether you're that type of person or not on the day-to-day basis, I think that something just, comes alive inside of you and you're like, okay, what can I do? Can I volunteer my time? Can I send money? Can I send supplies?
Right.
So
I went to, don't ask me what river, but there's a river that runs down there, and there was roughly a 6-foot surge that went through that neighborhood that was on the river. And somebody had called me out. I went out there personally. And to see a water line at my head level inside of somebody's home, I pulled in and everybody's worldly possessions were on the side of the road, piled up. And I get out and they go, hey, you want a cheeseburger? We got the grill going. If you want a cool drink, 2 houses down has a generator. We're charging our phones over there. Later tonight, we're all going to this person's house for dinner. The whole community came together. If one person had generators, they did their part. If another guy had big gas grills, they all come together. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In the middle of this terrible situation, these people were just smiling ear to ear because, like, what can you do about it?
What else can you do?
And they're not going to work. They don't have those worries. They're just hanging out, barbecuing, and doing the best they could.
Weird time in your life.
Like I said,
all your stuff's in the front yard. It's totally cool. It's great.
If you can look back at gratitude, though, which I know you've been impressive through this whole thing, like your attitude about everything that happened was
You're not kidding. Calm, cool, and collected the entire time, and I'm like, are you okay? You're totally acting like you're okay, but I don't think I'd be as calm as you are. Like you just went through the motions, and I mean, I get the mentality, but
there's
like
some
there's
acceptance
times
in that situation, though, when you go, okay, what is kicking my feet going to do right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you go through just a weird time, and I feel like you're almost. I think that I was probably in shock too.
Sure.
But like, my roof also wasn't ripped off, so I was like,
yeah, but you had like 2 foot of water go through your whole house.
well,
Let's just downplay it. My roof was great, but you could swim in my living room.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, it was just weird. And like, I think it was Lindsay, maybe you or even Sam, because like you guys just like showed up, like, I don't know, people were like texting me and I'm like, I don't know, I'm like, we just got home, and then next thing you know, like people just showed up and then like brought a fan, and the next thing you know, we got a dump trailer, and really weird. You just like come
By the
home
time
and you just start throwing your stuff out.
It's like, is there anything I could do to help? You're like, oh, there's a dump trailer in the front yard. Kyle's here. This person's here. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But again, community coming together
Yeah.
to help.
I mean, it's-
Local businesses coming
And I was going to
together
say,
help.
the businesses themselves collaborating together to help. And, you know, not everybody has that mindset of, you know, you do the same thing that I do, and no way am I helping you. We literally had companies that don't typically working together to get things done. And
Mhm.
Put community
incredible.
first,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
egos
How
aside,
incredible was
community
that?
first, and
Mhm.
that brings out the best in people.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I remember one of our last conversations, Cesar, and you amazed me with some of the solar stuff that was going on, and the way that the new solar panels are. And I kind of wanted to touch base on that a little bit and see where that is.
So the GAF solar shingles, the Timberline shingles, very cool product. They full disclosure, they don't look exactly like a shingle. You can still
No.
tell
Yeah.
that you have
No.
solar on
Yeah,
your
that
roof,
it's
but
solar.
very sleek. It lays flat. It has the same wind rating as the shingles,
Right.
which that's a huge deal.
Right.
So if you have a 25-year labor warranty on your, ours is called the Golden Pledge warranty. If you have that on your roof, you also have that on your solar.
Okay.
So everything is matched up where if you went out tomorrow and said, hey, I want to get solar on my roof, and they came out and installed it, you just voided the warranty on your roof because the roofer had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Some solar company came out, drilled a
Right.
bunch
And they're a
of
nice
solar
store
roof.
anyway. They're big and
And they're
bulky.
nice.
And we
They're
deal with
big
this
and
solar
cheap.
stuff all the
deal with
time.
it. So we
There's
can-
liens and
all the time, and there's
Insurance
liens
problems and
So the
Yeah.
solar shingles are installed, with the same nails that the shingles are installed. So
okay.
they have a nail strip that they match up the same size as the shingles, nailed in, roofer installed, all part of the same roofing package, all under the same warranty. So when you, as a realtor, are trying to sell a house, you don't have a big rack mounted system with bolts going through it that are going in through the trusses. You have a nailed system that's basically part of the shingles.
Mhm.
And it basically takes away all those extra penetrations because shingles have nails. But what a roof doesn't typically have is these giant holes drilled down through the trusses that leak over time. I don't care how good a rack mounted system is. We live in Florida. We get high winds all the time. The wind gets under there, and over time it shakes it and shakes it and shakes it. And those lag bolts start to
Loosen up.
wallow out the
Right.
hole a little bit. And eventually they leak. You know, it may not be in year 1, year 5, but they're going to leak eventually.
Right.
And that's why insurance companies don't like them. You know, you put all these accessories on your roof, kind of defeats the purpose of they just made you put a new roof on. Now you put a bunch of holes in it. And they're like, oh, well, that's great. Thanks, guys. You know, so the solar shingles are a good option. When you go outside of a shingle roof, there's all kinds of good options. You know, you go back to rack mounted, except for standing seam metal roofs, they make a clip system. So instead of anchoring it into the roof, it anchors into the ribs of the panel and never goes through the roof. So we
Very
install
cool.
those. With tile roofs, they make a peg system that goes through the tile. It puts a hole only about the size of a nickel through one of the tiles, and then the post goes down through. But that one's more intrusive, but it's a tile roof, so there's not a whole lot of things you can do to attach to it.
Right.
But there's options for everything, and we go from the least invasive to, if you're dead set on a rack mounted system, we'll sell it to you. We just don't recommend it.
We'll invade your roof. No problem.
We'll give you a very invasive solar system. You have to be able to offer people options. You can't talk them out of things. I've had people that want 4 or 5 different kind of ventilation on their roof. And with my background, I know how that works really well. So like, oh, I want 3 power fans. I'm like, okay, but you have ridge vent already. So if you have ridge vent already and you put 3 power fans there, it's just sucking the air from one spot to the other and it creates a vortex. And the guy goes, but my neighbor has it. I said, that doesn't make it right.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Oh, keeping up with the Joneses.
It doesn't make it right. Just because his house is doing something wrong doesn't mean you should also do it. And
Right.
from my standpoint, I'm trying to not sell you something. I'm trying to tell you, don't spend the money on it. It's not going to work.
Right.
And some people don't want to hear that. They just want it because they want it.
Right. This is true.
Right.
This is
Get it?
very true.
I'm probably the worst when it comes to from a sales standpoint of a business. I talk people out of stuff all the time because if you don't need it, you just don't need it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the owner of my company heard me saying that. I
That's
know,
not true
I know
because
he.
it
That's not true because it gives you a good
I know
name.
he
And
agrees with me.
Yeah.
But selling 90 accessories on a basic roof is not necessary.
Yeah.
Increasing your ventilation, yes, but done the right way.
Right.
right.
Telling somebody, hey, maybe you don't need a giant solar system because I poked my head in your attic and you have almost no insulation, that you could put that in for very cheap and lower your electric bill. Giving them options because the background of the energy efficiency for me, it didn't go away when I went into roofing.
Right.
So if I look in somebody's attic and I'm like, you have 2 inches of insulation and you want to buy solar, why don't you blow this thing in first and see where your electric bill is when you actually have insulation?
Right.
Right.
And let's revisit this
And-
conversation
yeah.
later.
Exactly, because it might go down $100 a month and you might not even be interested in solar anymore at that point.
Right.
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 Or when you
Or
are,
when you
or
are,
need
or when you
something
need
else,
something
going
else,
back
going
to
back to you because
Or
They
the
were
you were
honest.
honest.
thermostat.
And
those
yes,
things.
Right.
they're
Right.
referring people to you, which I think, in turn makes you the better salesman in the long run. Because what's going to happen when you oversell somebody on something they don't need? And they figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna get mad,
Yeah.
and be like, this guy told me that I needed this, this, and this, and
Yeah.
I spent X amount of money.
Now you don't get that
and
referral. You don't get that
realize-
repeat business.
No,
Yeah.
and it's not worth it for
Right.
my peace of mind.
Right.
It's,
Sure.
when I go home and I lay my head in the pillow at night, I feel good about what I do on a daily basis. I try to help people as much as I can within the confines of still running a business and trying to be profitable.
Yeah.
And if I could do those two things hand in hand and slide in a little community service work here and there that's completely non-profitable, I feel great and I can sleep well and I can
Mhm.
face the next day. If I'm trying to oversell every single job and get the most dollars I can out of every single person, I don't feel good about that.
And
And there's also an end to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, eventually they're gonna go, no, don't use that guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna upsell you on everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's
And that's the name you'll
have.
have.
You can't say no to him.
Just integrity's gotta be one of the core principles involved, especially in the construction industry.
Mhm.
When you're dealing with people's homes, you're talking about things that people worked their entire life to buy and to feel secure for their families.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for the covering that goes over that family unit,
Yeah.
and I take it very serious. That would give me nightmares. If I had bad crews or I knew we did sloppy work and stuff like that,
Right.
I would be gone.
Yeah.
I can't sleep with stuff like that.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's
Well,
definitely not.
That's
not the
definitely
name
not the name you
so-
have. So
Definitely
That's
not.
good.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
makes me happy.
Yeah.
That's definitely
When
what I'm
you-
going for.
Yeah.
When you came to
came
my
to
personal home,
I thought for sure that I was going to need
a
a
new
new
roof,
roof,
but you were
you
thorough. You had like all of your stuff prepared and ready to go, and like it was a great experience from start to finish. So
Yeah, just hung out in your attic for a little while.
yeah,
Yeah.
came up there.
I think they went to get breakfast or
Oh my
something.
Oh my
Something.
gosh, she's getting in my closet. He didn't judge me once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
It was pretty
so-
funny.
and I teach my estimators that. Most of the time when a roofing company goes out, they get on the outside of your roof.
Mhm.
The problem is if you never look in the attic, one, you can't judge what the ventilation is going to be. Two, you can't see what the actual condition is if you could help them out any. And the big part is a lot of people have water lines that are run improperly in their attics
Oh, yeah.
and they touch the
Oh, yeah.
roof deck. I don't want to find out after the fact that they're up there and one of my shingle nails hits it and starts flooding a house.
Oh, jeez.
So we teach the guys, go out, go the extra mile, get in the attic, make sure there's nothing that we can puncture and cause these people a problem in the future. The only time I've ever had this be a problem is I had one guy break an attic hatch. It was a little heavier than the rating of it, but I'll take that for thousands of jobs that we never had to pay for somebody's plumbing.
Right. Well, yeah, because I think that might be me ringing the phone.
Are you looking at your phone?
Yeah. I said, "Where's my phone at?" Oh, so we should pop back on here in a second.
I think we disappeared.
You're fine.
We're into the abyss. We went to space. I was gonna say, oh yes. So I think my piping for my house, because we're in an older house, is run through our attic. It's like never up there, so I don't know exactly where it is, but
So there's a code for that though. It's not supposed to be within 6 inches, but they have like PEX piping, which is the flexible stuff.
Mhm.
And people don't know. The plumber just put
Puts
it
it up there.
he didn't bracket it, and then it's looped up and it goes and it touches the top of the roof deck, and the homeowner never knows, never has had a problem, and probably would never have a problem until I come around and I shoot thousands of nails through the roof, and one of them hits that water line. So it's just an extra step that we take to make sure our customers are taken care of and don't have a bad experience.
The normal person would never know or think of that.
no, I wouldn't.
So, no.
I'd be like, oh yeah,
It's on our checklist.
Lift the shingles off and put them back on. Duh.
We have a checklist that we go through with the customers, and we ask them that question, and 9 times out of 10, I don't know if I have water lines in the attic.
I have no idea.
Why would you know? It's
I don't go up there. And if I'm going up there, it's usually with a box and it's above my head and I'm sliding it to put it up there on a,
Christmas
storage or
decorations, Halloween
whatever. I'm not
decorations.
looking at,
Especially in your neighborhood, you guys get serious decorations.
we do. We have to have a storage unit.
Serious.
We have to have.
We have
storage
to have
unit.
Yeah. I always wow, I got a lot of stuff. Not you, but just in general, people.
Yeah. Halloween, Christmas. Well, you've been to my neighborhood for Halloween. Like,
It's-
you need a storage unit.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
Like I thought that I was going to a theme park when I
It's-
went this year or
It's
last
the
year.
It's
coolest
great, though.
neighborhood. It is
Yeah.
the
It's so
coolest
fun.
neighborhood for really any holiday. They go all out for Christmas. They go all out for Halloween.
The neighbors get together and decorate the streets
I go around trying to hunt
together.
you down on Halloween. I'm like,
Right.
what street are you on?
Where are you?
I
It's
think I saw
fun.
one of your parents.
I
Yeah.
was in Lindsay's house, I think, on 3 separate occasions, and she
And I wasn't there.
Lindsay or Chris here? No, not yet. I'm like,
No.
I didn't get the secret stash.
Oh man, you should have asked because it was there. I do have a secret stash for the VIPs.
I don't know. Can you see me on your end?
No.
Or we're just blank.
We're like,
I don't know how to fix it.
Me either.
Maybe just do that and that. Reset it.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened. Well,
They're looking at me with my amazing weathered hair today.
Well, I mean, they can't see us anyway. You might as well play with it. See
Yeah.
if,
I don't think we need that light on there. But anyways,
So
We'll
let's
keep-
talk about some other stuff.
Yeah, well,
I
let's
hear
keep
there's
talking.
a 6-week challenge coming up at BCMF.
Oh, there you
is,
go.
But I wanted to talk about your involvement with the Hope Shot.
Well, let's talk about the Hope Shot.
Because I think that is super cool, very important, and I believe it was you, Justin McPadden, and maybe a couple other
Nathan
people.
Canty, my wife, we're all on a board. We're a nonprofit. Do you want me to sit next to you?
Sure.
Yeah, let's move over there because I don't know. I thought this was going to be the best way to go with my phone, and
Then we had technical difficulties.
Goodness
Caesar's
gracious.
coming in.
yeah,
I just
we need to
Texted.
see Caesar's beautiful face, and then
I don't know if this is going to work. Anyway, so the Hope Shot is definitely on the come up. So for those of you who don't know, the
I
Hope
think
Shot,
you might be able to just switch headphones. We can turn them off.
I just made it so difficult,
he
didn't I?
just put the wire. If you guys could see this, he just put a wire. Okay.
And I need my water to get a dry mouth. Don't worry, guys.
He's
I'm
like the
coming.
Matrix.
I'm coming.
He's over here.
I'm doing things. All right.
There he is.
I'm back.
Hello.
So the Hope Shot is a local nonprofit. We are a recovery community organization. And what that means is not only do we have a podcast that is every Sunday night at 8 p.m. We're on YouTube. We go live on Facebook, and we also do Apple Podcasts. So you can find us on Apple too. The Recovery Community Organization, we help people get into recovery from substance use and maintain recovery. So we obtained funding for this year through a federal grant, and we also got funding from the opioid task force. So that was the money when they sued all the pharmacies that they handed out. We got a piece of that to be able to help people in Pasco County, in our community, in our backyard.
Yeah, which is super, super important.
So the Hope Shot has been navigating people into sober living, into rehab centers. The podcast is reaching well over 100,000 people. It's I wish I had Justin on here, because now, like within 24 hours, we're getting like 2 million views.
Well, we should bring him on.
Yes, and I was going to say, I think we need to bring both of you back, and so
and Nathan. The three faces that are on there,
absolutely.
We would love to.
And we can do like an hour-long special or something, because
it's important to our community for sure.
Very, very important, and I absolutely love what you guys do and how big it's grown.
So all of us are certified recovery coaches. We navigate people into treatment. We just got, so I was going to say, we got the first funding. We just got that second round of funding. We'll have a physical location now that'll be like a one-stop shop, and people will be able to come in, get addiction resources, navigation services. We're hoping to have counseling and therapy there. It's just starting, but
that's what Tiffany was talking about the other day when I saw her.
Yes. So right there by Rasmussen.
Yeah.
Rasmussen.
Rasmussen.
But right there, the old building next door. It's 2-story, and it's got the little. It might be
Kaiser or something.
That
right?
one, that building.
Yeah.
Our good friend Frank
Mr.
found
Carmine.
us. It's not his real last name, but yeah, if you're watching, Frank Carmine.
Frank Carmine.
Helped us find a place in there, and we'll have a physical location. Now, if you're doing addiction services, what better place to be than right on 19? So we're very accessible to the population that needs our help.
Absolutely.
So I'm a board member of the Hope Shot. I'm also a board member of the Alliance for Healthy Communities, which is Pasco ASAP, who has the recovery committee. We have the Stand Coalition, which is the youth coalition. They got a piece of this money too. So addiction services and prevention services through ASAP, which is going into the schools, curriculum-based education, all of those things. So we're working both sides. It's prevention,
Fantastic.
treatment, what's called tertiary. I sound so smart right now. Tertiary prevention. You know what that is?
Well, no. But
Relapse prevention.
All right.
So we want to help people maintain recovery if they're already in recovery. We want to help you find recovery if you haven't found it yet. And if you're young, we want to help prevent substance use. All of these things combined to make Pasco County, because that's where we are, a better place for the future. And we treat this as a disease. We don't treat it as a moral failing or a criminal act or anything like that. It comes with those symptoms, unfortunately. It comes with criminal charges, but we work to find safe housing. That's another aspect of this. To try to find ways to navigate people, to take away the roadblocks that we had to face when we were first getting sober or clean or whatever term you want to use for it. So if we can help somebody find an apartment complex that's light on the background checks, because they're doing the right thing, but they have a past, we partner with them and say, hey, we'll refer to you good candidates, so they don't get the bad side of things and the bad taste in their mouth. We want to try to put the right people with the right places. So if we can get some of the roadblocks out of the way and get people to maintain long-term sobriety, that helps everybody. Crime rates go down. We don't spend as much money locking people up. The hospitals aren't overtaxed with overdoses. Because of the grant, we're able to get our hands on Narcan.
we put Narcan in as many places as we can, because we believe that it's more important to save a life than it is to judge somebody if it's their third or fourth overdose. So it's just whatever we can do to help this county and help our population, people in recovery, or people seeking to find recovery.
You guys, I mean, not only what you just said, but you do lots of, I'll call it events and, fundraising and, things in our community to bring people together and to be able to help the cause. So
Yeah, our big one in September is the Recovery Walk.
Mhm.
And it's so much fun. We've got speakers. It's right in Sims Park,
Right.
on the weekend. People come through, they do the walk, they listen to all the recovery speakers. We got lucky with beautiful weather this year. I think the year before it rained on us, and the year before that, we put it in August, and it was like 98 degrees, like 88% humidity, and everybody was just melting. But they show up. They show up. The recovery community here in Pasco County shows up no matter what. It's one of the best communities I've ever seen.
Well, that's awesome.
So now, tell me, Coco, am I allowed to talk about gym stuff yet?
You can. I did want to touch on. I'm trying to get back on the.
Yeah, we miss your face. I mean,
So,
I
yeah.
can see it, but
Yeah.
the people.
I'm coming. I just kind of wanted to touch on what you just were talking about, and I think that for those of you if you have never experienced,
I'm back.
Yes.
You've never experienced addiction, or if you're a very, rare person that has never had a family member go through, whether it's alcoholism, drug abuse, combination, it's when you go through that process, you need everything that you just described. You need the support. Like, how do you get back on your feet? How do you stay sober? You can go through the motions, go through rehab and everything, and you can be sober, clean, but how do you stay that way? Like, how do you get a job? How do you do life again?
That's the best way.
That's the best way I've ever expressed, because
speaking for myself,
I didn't know how to life.
Right.
I had a
wonderful mentor,
super patient. And I before I got into recovery, I owned bars in Tampa. I owned multiple nightclubs, and my lifestyle looked exactly like the lifestyle of a guy that had multiple bars and lounges and that kind of stuff. So that's all I've ever known coming into this thing. I don't have a history of manual labor or filling out job applications. I went to college, I started businesses, and that's what I did. I had a bad bottom. It took me many years to get a hold of recovery, so I came into it. And this guy's like, well, try this, I'll help you write a resume. My resume would have said, my own businesses, college degree, hire me. I didn't know how to write a resume.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me. Going to open up bank accounts, get my driver's license back, all these things that normal people take for granted. Just seems like something you should know how to do.
Like pay bills.
We don't know how to do them, because we spent those formative years either locked up or high or drunk or whatever your poison was.
You didn't care about bills.
I wasn't worried about bills.
Plus, I was lucky, up until a
You were
certain
profitable,
point.
so you were able to,
My mess was affordable because of my businesses. Now, my addiction took me to a point where all those businesses went bye-bye, and I had nothing but the clothes on my back. So I remember I had no driver's license, and I was living in Port Richey. I was walking to a meeting 5 miles away in Hudson, and then walking back every single day. And I wore out a pair of shoes in like 6 months. Like, I was on foot all day, looking for jobs, up and down 52, up and down 19. If I wasn't going to a meeting, my sponsor said, you need to be looking for a job, or your butt's in a meeting, or you're at home helping your family. Those are your options for things to do in a day. You don't have anything else to do. Do you understand that? Yes, I understand. I have nothing else to do. So that's what I did. But I was 37 years old applying for burger flipping jobs, anything, dishwasher. I have 2 college degrees. I got turned down by an 18-year-old manager at Checkers. What's it about a shot to the ego? I was like, you're telling me you won't hire me. I applied at Kickin' Wings as a dishwasher. Applied to be a dishwasher and was turned down. I did not get that job. Now I believe today that, you know, that was God probably doing for me what I could do for myself, because newly sober, did I really need to be hanging out and kicking wings all day or all night? Probably not. So it went the way that it was supposed to go. But those life skills, that's something that we want to offer when we get this building up and running. Resume writing, have career source in there. All the roadblocks I have had to deal with in the past, we want to see what we can do to make those a little less for the people that are coming behind us. So the job skills, it's so big, so huge to be able to step into employment and feel like you have purpose. Because when you say, like, oh, what do I do? That's the worst thing you can have. When you're newly in recovery with a bunch of free time, that's trouble.
The worst.
That's trouble.
It's the worst.
So if you've got your purpose, hey, I get up, I've got a job. I go to my job. When I'm done, I go to my meeting, go home and help the family out, do it all again tomorrow.
Well, can we touch base on the family? Because one of the things that you said is a lot of families have some sort of person in their family. I don't really know how many. I found that interesting that you said that. But the families themselves, whether we know it or not, they need the help and support as well, because they've lived this with this person. So they are taught to treat them in a certain manner, in a certain way. There's anger, there's
Resentment.
there's a lot.
No
So-
trust, zero
Right.
trust.
So that person that has tried to help in some sort of way, usually, they need to know how to help that person that's now recovering, and to figure out and navigate what that relationship now looks like.
And they have to learn how to heal
Yeah.
from their
And to
own
forgive.
trauma. There's
Yeah.
trauma involved when you're watching a loved one slowly kill themselves.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So we connect people with support networks and groups that are only for families.
Yeah.
You know, and they learn the tools on how to not enable, in case there's a relapse, of how to have boundaries, how to love somebody, but
Yeah.
love them from a distance sometimes.
Mhm.
And they need it just as bad as the person
I
that's suffering.
100% agree.
And it's the goal will be wraparound care.
Right, right.
You know, someday we'll have everything together where somebody overdoses. Pasco County has the BHIT team. That's the Behavioral Health Intervention Team. BHIT goes to the scene. They call the Hope Shop. We meet them at the hospital and we catch them at ground zero coming out of their overdose and get introduction. Here's your peer support. What would you like to do from here? How can we help? That can be followed up with counseling classes at the facility, and also long-term or short-term sober living, which transitions you back into job skills and everything and going back into normal life. That's like the perfect way we like to see it. That's not, there's gaps in it now,
Mhm.
but that's where we come in, and the funding is great. The funding is for 1 year. So we have to figure out how we keep this thing going in the future. But it was Gus Bilirakis championed this thing and got us this startup money. And we're super grateful. And we have a head start that most little coalitions do not have. So, you know, God bless my wife. Shout out to Kelly Rodriguez, who wrote the grant that we got.
Fantastic.
And I love how, you know, your wives and your families are just so supportive and involved in everything. You know, because obviously they were in the car with you when you were driving your life into the ground, you know?
I was
not married
You're
to
not
my
married?
wife.
Okay, so then never mind. Sorry.
No,
In
I
certain
was not
circumstances
married,
they are.
But
our wives are both in recovery too.
Right.
So for Justin and myself, their heart is in this just as well. They have just as much skin in the game. And I think that's the important part is coming from a background
Mm-hmm.
of what you know what you've been in their shoes. That's why the peers are so important, because you can put a doctor next to a guy that just overdosed, and that doctor can go, "You're gonna die. You know, you barely made it through this one. You need help."
Right.
And the guy's gonna go, "Yeah, no kidding, but whatever." Not gonna listen.
Okay.
But
All right, Doc.
I know.
But
Can I
you-
get out of here?
yeah, because I've been that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna die. Whatever. Can you release me? And you put somebody that's been there that can sit there and say, "You know, I've overdosed. I've been right where you are. This is what I've done. Like, I'm successful today. Can I tell you how I got from point A to point B?" Maybe you'll be interested. And it doesn't have to be my way. There's multiple pathways, but pick a pathway
Find a
and
way to
start
relate.
walking down that pathway. They all lead to recovery.
Right. Right.
You know, it doesn't have to be God. It doesn't have to be scientific. It just has to be a step in the right direction towards recovery, whatever that looks like. And I say that because if you lead with God to someone that has some kind of resentment against God, then you just lost them.
Mm-hmm.
If you lead with science to somebody that has a whole background in theology, you just lost them. So we give them the option. You tell me what's the best fit for you, and we're the resource broker. I'll connect you
Mm-hmm.
to the person that can help you best. You
Right.
tell me what brand you want, and that's who I'll connect you with. We're just putting them from point A to point B. But like I said, all roads lead to recovery.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I love about you guys is that it's not a one size fits all or one pathway. You have to do this or it's not going to work. You guys know and understand and have experience with just your own journeys, but helping many other people. That it's not just like you said, God, or it's not just scientific, or it's not just X program or this place or that place. There's many roads that lead to recovery, and everybody's different.
Yeah, that's part of our clarity statement.
Yeah.
Towards the end, it says, it doesn't matter how you get, just get there.
Yeah.
And we'll support you. We'll support you no matter what. We just want you to get better. And a lot of people get lost. The 12-step community gets lost in this is the only way, whether it's that brand of 12-step or this brand of 12-step. If it's faith-based, they get stuck in this is the only way. But what's funny is every one of those ways works.
Mhm.
There's successful people in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I send you wherever you need to go. It's what do you need, and how can I get you to at least be open-minded? Yeah, be open-minded enough to just take a shot. That's all I'm asking. It's got to be better. Usually we're talking to somebody that's at their lowest. Like, how much of a shot are you really taking here?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, you can always go back to this. So,
Right.
just give me a little bit.
Right.
Give me a little bit of faith, and I'll walk with you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the main thing is walking with them, not hey, that's the way over there, go that way. I'll hold your hand and I'll match your energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you are passionate about this, I'm going to be just as passionate, and you want to work extra hard at it, I'll work that hard. But if you want me to spoon feed it to you and you don't really want to do anything, I'll match that energy too. Like, I'm not going to make
Because you can't.
somebody,
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of power. I can't make you do anything, and I can't get sober for you.
Right now.
Right.
So
You're already there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just share my experience.
And that's all you can do. And it helps. It helps give people hope.
That's it. That's it. We're trying. That's the hope shot.
Yeah.
It's like I've been. My mind just flipped right there. I've been shocked at the amount of people that the podcast has been the introduction to recovery. We get messages
Well, it's quiet.
all the time.
Nobody's
Even
Even
for myself, watching and listening to the stories and relating, nobody knows that you're watching, that you're getting something out of that. It's quiet.
So we'll get the messages that I have an anxiety disorder and I can't go to physical meetings. I literally have panic attacks. You guys are absolutely saving me because I can get on here, interact with you incognito,
They're not
and
embarrassed.
then they'll reach out and say, well, what's the next step?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to do more than just watch you guys on screen.
Right.
And to be the catalyst of that kind of change, I mean, I'm humbled. The fact that we, three guys coming from where we came from, can get on a screen, talk vulnerability, open and honest about where we are in our lives, what we did to get there, and where we want to be going, and that it impacts that many people.
When it's
Like,
on, I share it.
away.
You never know who you touch. So
Yeah, but it blows me away. I mean, to be in that position, to be able to offer that to people, to have something to offer that, like, I'm blown away and humbled on a daily basis that we can impact people in such a good way.
Yeah. She's busy. She'll call you back.
It's the perils of being a successful realtor and amazing coach.
Okay, since this is, I think, the third or fourth time you've mentioned it.
Well, I'd
so-
like to shout out my friends too.
Yes,
you
I
know,
know,
Maria
I
at
know.
BCMF's got the
Mhm.
big, this is like if you just did what I did and you ate everything over
Holiday
the
time.
holidays.
We were just talking about this.
We gotta get our lives together.
So like, oh, the sugar is calling my name.
So BCMF,
Yep.
Maria Callahan, Coach Coco.
Yep. If anyone, I don't know if anybody's ever actually called me Coco on the show or not, but
Well, you're wearing the shirt, so
I'm
we got to
wearing-
say
yeah, okay.
it.
There, I'm like, where is it? Yes, so that is a nickname for me at the gym. And I do coach at BCMF. We did have Maria on,
About a month ago, I guess.
yeah, I think about a month ago. So we talked a lot about her gym, you know, where she started, where she's at now. Yesterday was day one of a new 6-week challenge.
I'm in.
And
I'm in.
yeah, Cesar is in. He's like, all right, let's do
So
this.
let me share this. So this is the first year. If you can't tell, I get very excited about BCMF. I love the gym. It is like my happy place. It's the first year that they've like lumped everybody together. There's teams, and I'm part of an all men's team. And when I started in this gym, I was by far a minority. It was mostly women, and there's a big team of men this year
Yeah.
working on bettering themselves.
I think they go
weight
on
loss.
waves because I think that there was a lot of men at one point in time, and then it became all women, and then another group kind of comes and
I
it
get
just goes in
referred
waves.
to as ladies because I'll be in one of the classes and I'm the only guy, and they'll forget I'm even there, and they're like, "Great work, ladies," and I'm like, "I'm
Me
here.
too.
Caesar's here."
Caesar is here." But I mean, these challenges that the gym puts out
They're no joke.
are. It was my introduction to the gym. Is I came in, I did a little workout, thought I was in really good shape, found out I was not in really good shape when it comes to those type of workouts. And then I jumped in and did the challenge. And I've got pictures of what I thought I was in shape and what I looked like afterwards. The results are incredible.
Mhm.
Being taught what actual portions are supposed to look like as opposed to what we think they look like is valuable.
Yeah.
So the nutrition help, the workout guidance, all the things that are provided by the coaches. Talk about wraparound care. In these challenges, you get wraparound care. You get
Mhm.
accountability, you get food, all your nutrition advice, everything's laid out for you. You just have to follow the plan for 6 weeks and you come out much better for it. And I did the 6-week challenge, and I've been at BCMF for 2.5 years now because of my first experience with that. So that's why I just get excited. I like to share that. And you're a coach there, and I want people to know like that gym community is like no
It's a
other.
family.
I mean,
That's
you
what
know,
yeah.
like you're at all the events, and it's like a big family.
I don't even go and work out. I still go.
But you still
and
come.
support, and that's it's an amazing place.
You make lifelong friendships
Yeah.
and relationships there. I mean, that's where I met Lindsay.
Yeah.
And I met at the gym,
Yeah.
and I came on board. Well, not on board yet, but I got introduced to the gym. One of my friends, Lindsay Goldberg, we went to high school together. She was prepping for a show, and I saw what happened to her, and I was like, "Wow, like you look great!" Like, I do that. Like, so I joined, and
That was in one of the very first roll-up doors down by the
Pine
baseball-
Hill.
Pine Hill, yeah.
Pine Hill.
The first one
and-
on the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I joined.
Mhm.
And I remember it was terrifying when I walked in there, but
I think everybody's terrified when you
I
walk
don't
in.
know.
Oh, I saw what you guys used to do. That was before my time. That was a little scary.
The gym has morphed.
Evolved. It's evolved.
Yeah, it's evolved for sure. So the workouts and
I love
the
seeing-
just experience. It's in any industry.
Well, yeah, you
know?
learn and you grow, and I love seeing old videos with like Steve and Paul were still there and like flipping tires and
Yeah.
doing like just crazy workouts. But
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think Steve actually joined shortly after I did, and
Campbell?
yeah, Steve Campbell,
Mhm.
and I just remember I was actually scared because I just didn't really know anybody. I just showed up to a class and didn't tell anybody I was coming, and I knew a couple people there, but that's was really scary for me walking into a room of people that I have no idea. I don't know anybody.
Mhm.
I was like, this is the most terrifying thing that I could ever do, and I feel for people when they walk in like that. I'm like, I know.
it's intimidating.
Yeah.
And I'm not the most coordinated person in the world. So if you're ever thinking about going, don't feel intimidated
Yeah.
because I didn't know the names of any of the movements. If you said burpee or a renegade or this or that, I did the what is that? And I still do it sometimes. She'll say, hey, this into a this, and I'm like, you're gonna have to show me because I don't remember what any of those things are. But it's all fitness levels. It doesn't matter. It
Right.
doesn't matter if you can't do the moves that are laid out. There's a modifier for everything to make it easier. And it took me 2 classes to feel like I was a part of. That was it. It
Mhm.
didn't take a whole lot. The hardest part was walking into the first class and
Mhm.
like, ugh, who are these people? And
Yeah.
why are they so
Fit
happy?
in. Yeah. Why is everybody smiling but they're sweating?
Yeah,
And
they look like they should be dying, but they're smiling.
yeah, they kind of really like it. It's weird.
And this
Okay.
music's a little obnoxious.
Yes, the music. But
Oh,
yeah,
I make
it's-
fun of it all the time, but I mean, it's just, you can't make all the people happy all the time. It has to be a happy medium, some high energy stuff, and I get that.
or slow, sad songs.
No. That's when
Shout out to Maria.
Wait,
Whitney Houston.
yeah, the R&B stuff, working out to R&B. I was like, no, that's not a thing. You can't do that.
No.
We don't work out to slow jams.
Some people do. I
They
don't know,
do.
but,
I-
that
Well,
is-
with the build program, I walk into people's individual stuff on that side, and I was like, wow.
you're like, okay, headphones engaged.
Yes. Please turn these on. Are you listening to slow country and deadlifting? That doesn't go together. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
I've walked into that a couple times and I'm like, huh, hey, whatever works.
Whatever works for you.
works for you. We all have headphones. We can tune you out.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. But yes, I think that we can all say at the gym, we're really happy to have you there. And, I always get excited when I get to train you.
I know, and I missed the one that I said I was going to come
I
to.
know. I was going to text you, but I was like, well,
It was raining.
it was raining. It's a Saturday. I'll give him the day.
Well, not only am I blessed to be able to come on here and talk to you guys, but I've personally worked with both of you.
Yeah.
And you guys are amazing people. I mean, when you guys ask me, I will never say no. You guys are just amazing.
Yes.
Well, we feel
I mean,
the same
I don't
way
know how
about
much
you.
Caesar you'd really want on here, but I mean,
We wanna know.
if you need some
All
Caesar,
the-
I'm always
all the
available.
pieces.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yes. So like we said, we definitely, and we'll have to, get with you and Justin and Nate and see.
Yeah, Justin and Nate would love to do it. I'm usually the hard one because now their job is being in the community and doing this, so they can make stuff all the time. I'm the boring one that's like, nope, I'm in the
have to
office.
work.
I have to work. I have a real job. I don't get to play Superman all day. I got to go do roof stuff.
We can schedule it so it works for everybody though.
Yeah.
That's good.
We'll get send you guys what our next couple Tuesdays are available.
Yeah.
I think we are booked until
March.
now.
That's good. We probably need a break after the explanation of the hope shot already before you get the actual hope
Yeah,
shot
why
on.
not? Why
It's
not?
all right.
But yes.
Well, I'm grateful
Forcefully.
that you guys have us on and give us the opportunity to kind of share what was going on. Same thing, the roofing industry. people need to know what's available. People need to know why things take the amount of time that they take. They need to know why to choose one person over another.
Mhm.
That integrity and quality aren't just the names of the businesses,
Right.
integrity this and quality that. Like, it really matters. And we can offer some of the longest warranties in the business because
You have
we
those.
do it right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
your manufacturer is not going to go, sure, we'll be responsible for a roof for 25 years if we're putting a bad roof on.
Right.
So we use the highest nailing patterns. We use the best materials. We do everything that we can to make it the last roof you need, and with the insurance companies these days, that slogan doesn't really have the impact it used to, because we're pushing lifetime shingles. But is it lifetime anymore? No. And I'm honest with my customers. Like, yes, I can cover you for 25 years. But your insurance company might give you a phone call at 15, and there's nothing I can do about that. We replaced more perfectly good roofs over the past 2 years
Just because of the insurance company.
than I've ever seen. It makes your stomach sick. They're like, oh, I have to have my roof replaced. And I get on the roof and I start looking. I'm like, why? Why do you have to have it? This is a great
Just the
roof.
letter says.
Mhm.
And it's
It's
just because,
mind-boggling.
yeah. So hopefully with the lobbying and with some things going on, maybe the insurance situation will get better, but politics really isn't my thing. So I don't know,
Right.
I'll find out when the
Well,
homeowners find out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll figure
I'll
it
be
out.
waiting.
Yeah. Well, I'll be waiting too. My insurance is crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's another conversation.
It's a whole
Another
nother
day.
conversation.
Another day.
Yeah, you need like another hour for just insurance conversations.
At least. So
All right. Well, that is our time for today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming. We appreciate you. We're glad to have you. We're going to have you back here soon.
Hey, and we did this, like we did it.
We did
Yeah.
it.
We got
We did.
microphones, headphones,
Yep.
technical difficulties, and we still did it.
We got it.
I feel like it wouldn't be a show without that.
No,
You know.
if it went the way that it was supposed to go, it's wrong.
So that's got to be a theme. Just do not start on time.
We never have. We never have.
We don't try. So
Oh, that's
if
awesome.
anybody needs to get a hold of you, whether it is for the hook shot or for a roof or solar panels, how do they get a hold of you for either one?
The branch number is the best way to get a hold of me, 813-867-7050, or you can go onto our website, that's suncoastroofing.com, and you can schedule there. And if you need to reach the Hope Shot, go up to our website, thehopeshot.org, and you can message us from there. The email's there. All of our services, everything's on the website, and it's probably the best way to schedule or to contact us.
Great.
Okay.
Cool. Well,
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
All right.
Until next time.
Have a good day, everybody.
All right. Bye.